As you can see, I am in Austin, Texas behind me, and I'm here for a work conference that is not going to be interesting to you. But while we are here, we're going to try and do some street photography, but I'm specifically going to use the Fuji 50 to 140, see what we can get, pros and cons of using it for street photography. So let's get started. We are out here, and before we get started shooting with the Fuji X-T3 and the 50 to 140, I just want to say I'm in Austin, which means I'm in a different city than I am used to. I'm not familiar with everything, and you may find yourself in a city that you're not quite as familiar with either. And so it's okay to stick to the famous locations, some of those iconic spots, and take some of those photos. But don't be afraid to venture off down a side street. That's kind of where I am at the moment. I'm just off of Congress, which is a major street here. Capitol building's around the corner, but I'm down a side street and trying to take some photos that way as well. So don't be afraid to do that, regardless of what camera or lens you're using or whatever. When you're in a new city, don't be afraid to adventure a little bit. So the first thing of why the 50 to 140 is key for street photography, particularly in a new city, is that it allows you to get some reach when you may not be super comfortable getting up close to people, and you can just get some photos that are at a distance that you may not be able to get otherwise. Second reason that the 50 to 140 makes sense as a street photography lens is the compression. A lot of times you may have buildings or subjects that are far away, they're in the background, and you have maybe a pedestrian or somebody that you're making a subject of your photo a little closer. You really want to bring those together. It adds just another level of dimension and interest in your photo, and you really can't get that look with a wider lens. So something like this 50 to 140 allows for that compression. All right, so as I am here swapping out batteries, because Fuji battery life, I want to talk about the third benefit to the 50 to 140 2.8, and it's that 2.8 aperture. When you're out on the streets, and especially with the telephoto lens like this, you can really get a nice separation of subjects from their background, and you can still stop down and get that context if you want, but it's a way to make a different look and feel to your images that you can really leverage that not all lenses can do. So something to keep in mind, particularly as you look to upgrade from the kit lens. It does start at 2.8, but is a variable aperture and goes down to f4 if you are trying to get to that telephoto on the far end of that kit lens. So not something you have to worry about here, as it's 2.8 all the way through. If you're unfamiliar with what I'm talking about, an aperture, go ahead and check out this video right here, as it's something that I covered recently on our Just Getting Started series, as I'm calling it. So, and apologies for some of the loud sounds. We are out on a road here in Austin. We're gonna go down South Congress and see what we can capture. that is about it for Austin. But before we head out, there are two things that I want to mention that are maybe negatives to using the 50 to 140 out on street photography, particularly travel. Is its size. It's heavy, so carrying it around all day may be a little much. And the second is going to be you just want a wider shot sometimes, and this isn't the lens for that. So let me know what photos you liked down in the comments below. Subscribe as we have some new cool travel coming up, and give this video a thumbs up, and remember, just get started.